Are you someone who is always late despite your best efforts? Maybe it's just a few minutes, maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's 3 hours, but try as you might, you are just always late. Maybe you are always optimistic about how long something is going to take you. Maybe you don't think about the traffic or things like that, and you're just hoping it will be good today. Maybe you just get really lost in time. I mean, this happens for me all the time. I tend to just let time get away from me. And so you may be like this. You may be somebody who just, you do, maybe we call it time blindness, or maybe you just don't have that concept of time that some people seem to really have under control, where they are just always on time. They always know what is going on, and they never seem to be late. Um, Being late is something for me. I really don't like it. And I feel like I have to be on brand and be on time. But it's not always easy for me to do so, right? I tend to be someone who can get very into something and not realize how much time has gone by. And so I need to have a lot of supportive structures around to help me to be on time, because it is a goal of mine to be on time. Now, maybe you're somebody who's not on time and you actually don't care about it. That's fine. No judgment here. You don't even need to watch the rest of this video, because in the rest of this video, I am going to be sharing some ways that if you are someone who is not on time, is not on as time as you would like to be, but you would like to be more on time, you would like to be more punctual, then I'm going to be sharing some tips that can really help so that you don't find yourself unintentionally late again and again and again. Again, no shame here. If you are someone who does not mind that you are late, then more power to you. This is for the folks who are late all the time and do not want to be late all the time for whatever reason. So, as I mentioned, I have a tendency to, if I don't have supportive structures around me, to be late. I lose track of time very easily. I do feel like I have some of that time blindness in me. And so, I have ADHD. I'm sure that's part of it too. And so there's a bunch of different things that we can do, and I'm going to share these things with you because I do all of them, not just one or two of them. I actually do all of them to help me stay on time. And so you may not need all of them like me, but I do want to give you a bunch of different options here. So, what can we do if we want to be more on time? One of the things we can do is to just use timers, to set timers on our phones. We have them around us all of the time to let us know, when we need to start preparing for the next thing, right? Having an alarm for like when you need, let's say you need to go pick up your kids, and having an alarm that goes off the second that you need to go out the door, that's not as helpful. We want to have the alarm that goes off, 10 minutes before we need to get out the door if it takes us 10 minutes to collect our stuff and get out the door, right? So we want to have alarms set like this if we can. Now, if you are someone you're in meetings with someone else and you're just like the meeting always runs long, you could even set a timer at the beginning of the meeting and let other people know what you're doing and why. Say, hey, we have 30 minutes for this meeting. I'm going to set a 25-minute timer for us. And that way, at the 25-minute mark, we'll know that we need to start wrapping this up, right? Sometimes it can feel weird, right, to set a timer and, then it's going off in the middle of something. Just tell people what we're doing and why. Okay. The second thing that we can do, I'm going to share, I think, four different things today. But the second thing we can do is to block travel time on your calendar. This is a big one. We often like look at our calendars and we think, oh yeah, I'm going to have plenty of time to get to that meeting, event, whatever. And then we just kind of failed to factor in traffic. Maybe if we're not driving, we're taking public transit, delays. If we're parking, how long it might take to circle a block, depending on where you live. I live in a major city. Parking is very difficult. I always leave like an extra 15 minutes for parking, because who knows how long it's going to take me to find parking. And so putting that time on your calendar, actually blocking it off, helps you to see that that's not time you can use for something else, right? That's time you actually need to use to get to where you're going. And so I actually block this off before something and after something, so that I know the full time that that thing is gonna take me, and I don't have to worry so much about about not only being late but also like thinking that I can get more done in the interim. Okay. Number three, for meetings specifically, adjust those meeting notifications in your calendar. So all calendars, they are going to default to having meeting notifications be like 10 minutes or 15 minutes ahead of the meeting. And I don't know about you, but this is not helpful at all. And the reason that it's not helpful is that what happens when you get that little 10-minute notification? You're like, oh, great, I have time to do one more thing. And then you try to do that thing, you get started with that thing, and then you're late for the meeting anyways because that thing took longer than the 10 minutes that it was going to take, right? So you can actually go into the settings, no matter whether you're in Outlook or Google Calendar, you can go into the settings and you can adjust that default. I like to have it be like 2 minutes. And this is a really good amount of time for me because it allows me to just wrap up the thing that I'm doing or like make a note of where I was when I left off, but without giving me the opportunity to do that one last thing that I know is probably going to make me late. So you can set it for whatever works for you, but I tend to find that like 2 to 5 minutes seems to be the best for most people. Okay. You can also use a visual timer. This is the fourth thing that I'm going to share. So I use these in a couple of different capacities. So I have this timer, this cute little visual timer. I keep this on my desk all the time. And this helps me to see, like, when I'm in a meeting with someone or when I've time blocked something, how much time do I have left? It's kind of ticking backwards, right? I also have one of these for my computer. It actually overlays on top of all of the other screens. So if I'm in a meeting with someone and I can see that time kind of ticking down, I can see that it's front of mind because even though we all have that little clock up there in the corner of our laptops, sometimes that's not enough for me. I need something more visual so that I can see the time actually decreasing over time instead of just kind of seeing what time it is. So there's so many different options out there on the market for these time timers. I just search Amazon for visual timer, and for the timer that you put on your computer, it's called Time's Up. I can link to it below. Um, those are just a couple of the things that I use. You also, I mean, there are so many cool tools right now. I noticed recently that in Google Docs, you can use one of those smart chips now, the smart chip for timer. And in your meeting agendas, you can put timers that will count down for the different meeting agenda items. So anything that we can do to kind of externalize time so that it's not just in our heads, this is going to be really helpful for us for just knowing where we are in time. And that in turn is going to help you to not be late for the things that you don't want to be late for. So, this is coming from someone who really needs all of these things all of the time. Hopefully, you don't need as many as I do, but maybe even one of these things is going to be something that resonates with you. So, if you like this content, please give it a like. That helps me know what I should make more of, right? And it helps other people find this stuff. And then, of course, if you are not already subscribed and you want to get more content from me every week in your feed, please go ahead and subscribe. That lets me know, who's out there and what you want. All right, till next time.
Hey guys, it's a video editor here. Just want to make sure you guys are subscribed as only about 21% of you guys are actually subscribed. So it make a big help to the channel.